We are inheriting a difficult situation from the outgoing administration, and they're trying everything they can to make it more difficult. Inflation is continuing to rage, and interest rates are far too high.
The economy is incredibly strong, as you guys talked about a little bit yesterday. And in fact, Trump is inheriting the opposite of what he says he's inheriting. Jobs is a great place to start. If you exclude COVID from the calculations, under Biden, we've been creating jobs at a rate of about 241,000 jobs per month. Under Trump, it was 180,000. So not only are we creating a lot of jobs, we're creating at a faster rate than Trump 1.0 did. We all know manufacturing's been a tough spot for the United States. We had been losing manufacturing jobs for many, many years. It was exacerbated by the financial crisis. But under Trump, but also under Biden, we have created a lot of manufacturing jobs, 693,000 under Biden, 425,000 under Trump. And so manufacturing jobs are actually back to the highest level they've been at since the financial crisis.
We heard President-elect Trump mention inflation there. Goods are still too expensive for many Americans, for most Americans, but it is important to look at that number in relationship to how wages have risen as well lately. What does that look like?
First of all, he said inflation was raging. We have to recognize that inflation did rage. We had a really tough spot on inflation during COVID for a whole series of reasons. But what maybe Americans don't fully appreciate is how far down it's come. It's come all the way back down to between 2.5% and 3%, depending upon what measure you use, just above the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. Not that far, actually, from where inflation was under Trump. And food prices, grocery prices, which are obviously one of the most important items to everyday Americans, which again did soar in fairness, are now running at about a 1.6%, 1.7% inflation rate. So very, very low inflation in food. So inflation is not raging. So as inflation has come down, that's obviously been good for workers because their pay has been going up, but inflation had been taking a lot of that away from them. It's now the opposite. So real wages adjusted for inflation, since COVID ended under Biden, have been growing 1.5% a year. That's, again, a pretty good tailwind. It's an even better tailwind than Trump created, where he had 1.3% annual growth in wages. So right now, the American worker is seeing their after-inflation paychecks going up by a reasonably significant number.